Different people needs to hear different things. I've already communicated that I have no longer associated with bringing forth the messages of some collectives or working with a particular guide. I continue to also much reverence for what I know and what I don't know. Like when you close a marriage, you can still stay respectful and protecting the privacy of certain things that are best to stay within the family. There's one thing that I want to address because, and this is a topic that it's quite delicate for some. It has so much also to be with the belief system that we grow up with, and sometimes we even inherit it from this or even other lifetimes, ancestral lineage and other incarnations. Many people think that channeling is evil. So I have been perhaps supporting my announcement thinking that I'm going to be no longer channeling. Everything can be good or bad, and these are ultimately labels that we attach. Many people are frightened or just concerned by the unknown, and for them, channeling is unknown. Now, these are skills, ability, and I am not turning away from my soul ability. Really not. Even though through a long journey that I'm not going to go into, I appealed, things were reviewed. Over time, the process was really not smooth and straightforward. It went through, especially the last month, it escalated through different peaks, and there was plenty of silence in between because you see, things need to be evaluated. Decisions need to be changed. When things are written within the Akashic records, when things that change are written within the soul records, they oftentimes don't change just because you've changed your mind. There are laws, there are universal laws, such as, for example, the law of cause and effect. What did you put out? What are you asking? What can you receive in? The law of karma, the law of balance, you may call it. When things don't go well in life, it can be easy to think, that's it, I've done. This doesn't work, it didn't work, I'm shutting myself down, I'm closing my gifts. No. I know better this time. I know better. And you see, you might just see sometimes the physical body, but nowadays, where everything is waking up, we've got kids, teenager, child, that have such an elevated level of consciousness and awareness. They're so advanced. So don't just stay fixated to the biological age of the person. There is a reason why some people embrace a trait, a skill, or a talent with a level of an advancement that seems almost uncommon, that seems so uncommon and unfamiliar to others. Sometimes it is said they have been mastering and practicing that for so many lifetimes. It is said that some souls are sent on earth with specific missions. It became quite clear that was the case. I didn't know too much about what contracts were put in or did I have on my path, but it was clear there was something. So if you've been wondering, okay, I'm not going to challenge anymore, I'm done with psychic ability, no, that's not what I mean. Like when ending a marriage, the connection, the collaboration with those specific groups, it's going to be respectfully left behind. Things will continue to go the way they need to go. Many things are in source and surely out of me. So in this transition phase where I'm stepping forward, I just wanted to make that more clear. I was asked to make it more clear publicly. I've paused and waited. And I said, okay, I'm curious. I'm taking the responsibility to see what happens, to see if I make a public announcement. And I've opened the level of energy practices and things that I do behind the scenes, energy works that I do for myself and coach to others are quite advanced. So I'm not asking you to understand this. Many of you may be already familiar. So there are processes also with approaching contracts or changing. I've asked to remain at service. I'm not stepping away or back from my psychic gifts. The joy remains. I am who I am regardless of the abilities. But if this is the last time to bring them forward again, then they are welcome. Then they are welcomed. And I make my due diligence, I run my due diligence at each and every step. Not just to maintain the purity of my intention from my heart, to sustain it and welcome and allow that in the field and also with anything that comes through. To channel is beautiful. The higher frequencies are beautiful. The ability to communicate with the angels, with higher collectives, with source, with your own higher self, it's so beautiful. It changes the frequencies. You can go much higher, but it was never about being special. It was never about the channeling. There was something much bigger behind. And there is still something much, much bigger behind. My train path, that destiny path, I was bonded to, my soul has put those contracts. It's not just for learning, it was higher caveats that were put on my path to redeem another part are changed. The linkage will remain. However, the path has changed. And the trajectory that I'm welcoming is one where my life also behind the scenes is guided with harmony, with pure love, with light, and with truth. With truth. This may not make sense for many, but I just wanted to share it. I don't know how the next chapters are going to look like. You may still see me channeling. You may still see other things coming forth. What I want you to know is that first, if you're going for something and you don't understand it, ask yourself the questions. Are you pushing back because your logic brain doesn't understand? Or is that, perhaps, are you pushing back because it doesn't resonate with your value? Or is that a belief that you can let go? Ultimately, I always say, takes what serves you, release the rest. If you're more accustomed with soul contracts or cycles within your life, know that things can change. And you need to be eligible for things to change. The law of cause of effects, the eye of God watches for everything always, all the time. The law of cause and effect breathes fluidly through all the incarnations. So it's not just a matter of, oh, I've changed my mind. No. But if you're honest, if you've done the work, if you've kept and sustained the intention with purity, things can change. Things can change. And don't be afraid to ask for things. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't feel a victim of the system or even the soul contracts that you may have. You have the right to ask. Now, I don't know how your journey is going or is going to go, but I know that I advocated for mine. And I will continue to do so. My relationship, my connection with Source, even though I grew up as a Christian, went through times where I called myself an atheist and then was called back home by spirituality, that connection with something bigger, that purity from the heart, that sense everything was connected was always there. And there was time where I felt things were disconnected. But a part of me always remembered, a part within you knows, and remembers that everything is so connected. So when you tap into that part and you understand that we are helping each other co-create something, you can become much more in power of your own life, of your own journey, eventually even of your soul contracts. And we can really help to rewrite history for the better. At an higher level, there is a hope for humanity to change and rewrite the contracts for the better. You see, when psychic pass on revelation or messengers, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes it's a matter of likelihood. It's probability. How many chances at that given time, it's like taking a snapshot, a picture of what are the chances if this prevails, if these frequencies, behaviors, emotion, intentions are sustained, then, like on a scale, if one side starts to prevail, things can change. So when you commit to harmony, to pure light, to love, not in a fluffy way, but from the purity of the intention of your heart, and with courage, you shape the conduct of your life. For some of you, it's more gentle. For some of you, it's more direct. For some of you, it passes through the business that you offer. For some of you, it's more soft. It doesn't have to be so vocal. It can just be within the family. But the more you are consistent with that pure intention from a pure heart, for harmony, for unity, for peace, for pure light, joy, light, and benevolence, things can change, not just individually, but also collectively. So I don't know how my future is going to look like. I will continue to embrace and welcome back home many powerful, beautiful gifts. Everything will always go through my due diligence for things to be in harmony, in pure light, love, and truth. And you don't have to believe me. As a matter of fact, I invite you to stay skeptic with everyone, and also perhaps have compassion and forgiveness towards even the people, because things can be sometimes not straightforward to understand with humans. It's very similar with the energy work as well. So learn to make a distinction. When something doesn't resonate, also learn to make a distinction. Get to understand the human. And know that leadership is also that. The ability to pause, to stand, to respectfully ask questions, and decide to stay, try to seek, communicate if things can change. And if they don't over time, have still the leadership and the courage, if you will, to step away and participate or create something even better. I hope this message was, yes, an update, just a personal update for me. Not sure if you've been following my journey so far, but I hope there was something that was helpful for you. And if that was, I'm very grateful if you want to support this message with a like, a comment, or a share, so that other people can get that valuable tip of advice for them. Thank you. Much love.